Well, good evening, friends. Mark Holmes here, of course. And as always, I want to thank you all for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Joe Boo Sports Report. Without you guys, this literally does not work. And as I just started this, it just hit me that this is our draft party theme song. Draft is over. What do I do about the draft music? My man Ron Oliver from Tower Light Records hooked the brother up. I don't know if I can ask him to make me a new mix and stuff, but if I were to ask my man Ron Oliver from Tower Light Records, it definitely needs to be something that's upbeat and something that is like a punch to the gut, because I believe that's what our defense is headed to. All right. Let's go ahead and kill the music. Well, what's up, everybody? I hope you guys are having a great Sunday. It's amazing because everybody's been telling me, Mark, you should rest. You should rest. Listen, let me explain something to you. I will rest when I'm pushing up daisies. Seriously, I will rest when I'm pushing up daisies. Right now, I have too much to accomplish. I got my legacy that I got to try and build. And in case you didn't notice, I ain't very far on it. So I've got to work on every single day at trying to be a better person and leaving my mark. You see what I did there, right? You see, Mark, my name's Mark, okay. Anyway, I've been busy working on my house. And it's funny because today is the first day that I have done nothing. No changes, no updates, no wires pulled, nothing literally to my set. My studio, I haven't touched it. I literally just took off all the wraps and everything else, and it's just like, it worked to perfection for the draft. We had no hiccups, and I at this point, I don't know what else to add. Seriously. I got, 3 cameras that are out here, and I can switch them from back to forth and all that. I've got the big screen monitor and things. I got the lighting, I got the ceiling fans and everything else. I don't know what else we could do here. I think it's done. Well, maybe we could put down, I could get some field turf and put down here. That maybe okay, maybe I can do that. But other than that, we're kind of done here. And I guess we're ready to start building towards the season. So the Cowboys have signed or are expected to sign quite a few undrafted rookie free agents. And I know a lot of you guys are like, okay, undrafted rookie free agents. Big whoop-de-doo. Who gives a rat's ass about undrafted rookie free agents? Well, here's an interesting thing. While everybody's focused in on, the first round draft picks, especially who that number 1 pick is going to be. Bill Parcells used to always say, hold on before you put the anointing oil on anybody. Because just because you're the number 1 pick in the draft, it doesn't mean anything. That only means you get a bigger paycheck and higher expectations of being out on that field. It's no guarantee that you're going to succeed, because here's an interesting stat that it can be a little bit deceptive. But here's the funny thing. Do you know in the Hall of Fame, the Pro Football Hall of Fame, for 101 years of the NFL, that there are more undrafted free agents in the Hall of Fame than number 1 picks? Let me say that one more time. There are more guys who went undrafted in the NFL. And remember, back in my day, there was like 13, 14 rounds, it seemed like. There were more guys that weren't drafted by teams than number 1 picks, the very first pick in the Hall of Fame. I think it's 14 to 17. Kind of an interesting stat. Now, it is kind of deceptive because there's only one number one pick every year. There's only one. So technically, there's, it's 101 years of football, so there's only 101 of those guys right there. But only 14 then have made it into the Hall of Fame. Now, there's a whole lot of undrafted rookies, undrafted free agents that are out there. There's a whole lot more. But the thing is you're talking about guys that were passed over for 7 rounds by 32 teams. They deemed you not one of the guys, not one of those 259 people that were drafted. You weren't even the lowsman. And yet, more of those guys that were passed over are Hall of Famers than number one picks. So you never know. Nobody thought Tony Romo would be one of the Dallas Cowboys' great quarterbacks. Nobody. Some of you out there think Tony Romo should be in the Hall of Fame. Undrafted rookie free agent. So don't sleep on these guys. You never know what you might find when somebody has the opportunity to succeed. Now, one thing that's interesting is the Eagles, of course, drafted at Dallas Goddard. Well, the Cowboys signed an Eagle, Brandon Eagles, wide receiver from Texas. See what they did right there? It's kind of interesting. So the undrafted rookie free agents that the Cowboys have signed, shout out to you guys because you're getting your opportunity. You're getting your shot. Tyler Coley, linebacker, safety, Purdue. Brandon Eagles, like I just talked about, from Texas. Nick Eubanks, tight end, Michigan. I mentioned him this morning. Austin Fooley, defensive tackle, Oregon. Jaquan Hardy, running back. Anthony Hines, III, linebacker, Texas A&M. Braylon Jones, offensive lineman, Houston. Brandon Cox, running back, Marshall. Osiris Michael, wide receiver, Mississippi State. Nick Ralston, fullback, Louisiana. Brandon Smith, wide receiver, Iowa. T.J. Vasher, wide receiver, Texas Tech. A lot of wide receivers there. So the Cowboys think they're running out of wide receivers. Kind of funny. So those are the guys that we're going to be bringing in. Some of them will end up just being kind of camp bodies and so forth, but you never know where you might find a diamond in a rough. So here is where I am happy as can be. I am literally happy as can be because, well, let me make sure that we're still recording here. Some reason my screen went off. I am happy as can be because we really focused on the defense. Now, we reversed the draft versus the rookie free agents. We end up signing more rookie free agents that are offense than defense. The Cowboys, in case you don't know this, the Dallas Cowboys are redoing their defense. I think about Doc Walker. Doc Walker, okay, I know he's the enemy. Washington football team. He was one of the original Hogs, tight end and all that. He used to be on Sports Talk 980 in Washington, D.C., and I've met him a couple of times. He's actually really, really cool. The thing about Doc Walker is Doc Walker doesn't hold any punches. He'll tell the Redskins they suck in a minute when they suck. And one of the things he used to always say, and I quote him a lot, Doc, so shout out to you. He'll say they didn't bust a grape, or it's hard to be hungry when your refrigerator's full, which is true. You open up a refrigerator, you got all kinds of stuff that you can eat in there. You're snacking and grazing and all that. But when your refrigerator's empty, you hungry. And guys that are hungry, like these rookie free agents, they're fighting for their NFL lives. It's not like you're a, high draft pick that, team says, we got to I made the decision to pick that guy. We're going to give him an opportunity because my job might be on it. These guys, they hungry. So you never know what kind of fight you got in a guy who's hungry. He might bite your leg off, literally. But Doc Walker would always talk about, he would say things like, I didn't do shit with you. He'd say crap, or he'd say, he wouldn't say shit. Okay, forgive me. He'd say, you didn't bust a grape. I lost with you. I can lose without you. And meaning that what we got last year on that defense that was 32nd, that when we played lesser competition and worse quarterbacks, we did get some takeaways. I will give you that. But still, you ended up 29th in the NFL. And keep in mind that we had 2 games against Danny, broke ass, I need to go to a payday loan, Dimes. That you were playing 2 games against Carson Wentz and the Eagles. That you were playing 2 games against the Washington football team. You played against the Cincinnati Bengals, not with their number 1 pick rookie wide receiver. You played against the San Francisco 49er that literally was getting people out the stands to play quarterback. These weren't exactly juggernaut teams offensively that you were playing against. And so the look at this is we rebuild the defense. Can it be any worse than what it was? Can it? I didn't do crap with you guys. Why should I keep you? So you see exactly what the Cowboys did. They signed a bunch of guys as free agent, younger guys, and they drafted the hell out of it. They've got competition. It's going to be man on man to find out who wants to be here. Not somebody who says, nobody gives 100% every play. That kind of guy, you know what? Take your asthmatic self over there on that other field and cut his ass. You're not going to be here. Dan Quinn, he's excited. He's here to build the Legion of Boom. Now, we thought Chris Richard was going to be that guy, but I don't think Chris Richard actually had the opportunity because there's still somebody else who's in charge of Rod Marnelli. I think that he didn't get the opportunity to put his stamp on there and run the defense the way he wanted to and bring in the type of guys he wanted. He was more aggressive. Rod Marnelli, being older, was more of a bend, don't break guy. I'm not taking too many risks because I'm old, like me. I'm not going skydiving. I'm not bungee jumping. I'm just not. I'm not taking those kinds of risks because I'm old. Maybe if I was 20-something, yeah, I'd do crazy shit like that, but not now. I'm old. Dan Quinn, he's out to prove himself after being let go from Atlanta. Here's the thing that's cool to me. Oh, I love this. New Cowboys defensive coordinator Dan Quinn said they will look more like a 3-4 defense in base packages. Ooh, it gave me chills. It gave me chills. But their nickel package, where he pointed out that the NFL defenses are about 60, 70% of the time now, are more of a 4-man front. Okay. My day, terminology was a little different. We would call a 3-4 defense a 50. Okay? Which meant that you had a guy who lined up over the center. You would have 2 tackles that were on the tackles, and you would have 2 outside linebackers or 2 defensive ends. That was a 50 defense. And the guy in the middle, the man in the middle, was called a nose guard. You don't hear nose guard anymore really in the NFL because they say nose tackle, which is kind of like a tackle that lines up over the guard or the center. It's the nose tackle. And I hate that because it's kind of like where you're getting rid of fullbacks. Okay, I'm old school. I was a nose guard. And it really excited me when Dan Quinn was asked yesterday where Bohannon was going to line up. Like, oh, well, we're going to put him outside. It was like, what? I was like, you're going to put a guy who's 360 outside? You're kidding, right? And he was like, yeah, I'm kidding. I was like, oh, okay. He said, no, He's going to line up over the center, and then he might move here. He's going to line up over the center. He's going to move right here. That, my friends, is truly a nose guard. You're only over the center. This defense is evolving. And Dan Quinn is getting the kind of guys he needs. With that, oh my God, you just don't know how happy I am. You got a big, fat beast. I'm sorry. Look, Bohannon, don't kill me. I don't mean to call you fat. You got your roll-off dumpster full of dirt. His job is going to be clog the middle. Then you got Gallimore on one side. He's like a freight train. He's big, but he's got some push. You saw him literally push Mike Pouncey backwards on his way to sacking Big Ben. Then on the other side, you're going to have Tristan Hill, the Tasmanian Devil. We'll see if he is going to be the real deal. Or Antoine Woods. That, my friends, is a lot of beef in the middle in what you have with a 3-4 defense or a 50 defense if you're me. And then you have DeMarcus Lawrence as an outside linebacker, defensive end, and so on, and Randy Gregory out there. What you're able to do with that is you're able to stop the run. And that's going to be key for the Cowboys. Now, here's what's funny, because I got so excited about nose guard. I wanted to give you the exact definition of nose guard. And so I Googled nose guard. Check this out. Hold it. This is how sad this is. I hope you guys can see this. Googled nose guard. I am so old, they don't even talk about my position anymore. Look at this. Contoured face guard. Face mask support for adults. Face mask support. Face guard. Face shield. Oh, okay, here we go. Noun, American football. Another term for nose tackle. Okay?
What the hell's going on out here?
They're not the same. They're not the same. And I'm pissed off that people think it's the same thing. It's not. Okay? It's not. Not even close. I have wanted a guy, a huge guy, a big guy, a beast in the middle. Because, see, it's just a different mentality. It's a different position. You have to literally understand you're going to get hit from every different direction. This video is going to get long, and I don't care. But I learned this out the hard way. Because when I went to JMU, I had tore my ACL in high school, and I was actually running track because I had given up football. I was like, with that knee, I can't make it. I had a coach who watched me running track because I was trying to become a decathlete. Charles Jones, who, interestingly enough, actually was part of the Cowboys for a while, or tried out for the Cowboys, but broke his wrist and got released. But Coach Jones watched me running track. You're fast. And you're strong. See me in the weight room and stuff. And it's like, I want you to try out, walk on for the football team. I'm like, dude, I played offensive guard in high school. I ain't big enough to be a guard. Look at those guys. He's like, no. He said, I want you to play nose guard. I'm like, I've never played defense before. He said, no, you don't understand. See, he said, you're short. You're not real tall. He said, but you're strong as hell and you're quick. Use that quickness in the line. So I walked on. And it was like Rudy, okay? I was scout team. Not knowing what the fuck I'm doing. Excuse my language. Lining up over the center. Getting hit by the center. Boom. Steve Ham. Kenny Dalton, who was about 260, was one of the guards. Now I'm getting hit by Steve Ham, Kenny Dalton. Boom, double team. Getting blown out into the backfield, out there with the safety. I'm getting hit by the other guard. I can't remember his name right now. But on other plays, that guard's hitting me. So you're constantly having to figure out who's going to hit you. When the center goes over, trap blocks, the other guard goes over, trap blocks the other tackle, this guy goes out, the other guard goes to the linebacker. Now you got a fullback coming at you and getting you. So now with a guard, a center, a guard, a fullback. Oh, but then they got a real bad wrinkle. Then they have, before the ball snap, they got a tight end in motion. Tight end's coming down the line. It's kind of creeping there. The ball snap, and they do a wham block. You step up, boom, here's a tight end. So, okay, so as a nose guard, you're dealing with the center. The guard, the center, the guard. Fullback, tight end. And I remember in practice that first week where the center, he went to the linebacker. The guard went to the linebacker. The center crossed my face. He went to the other linebacker. The other guard, he kicked down on the tackle. So I'm looking for the fullback. And as I'm looking for the fullback, I see Warren Marshall. Warren Marshall was about 6 foot. He was drafted by the Denver Broncos. Don't think he made it. But Warren Marshall shades was about 215, 220, 6 foot. Big man. I see him coming to me, and I'm thinking, finally, I'm going to get a tackle. I step into the hole. I stand up to meet him. I'm getting ready to tackle him. And guess what happens? Here comes the tackle. Adam Burkett, about 6'3" and about 295 pounds, and he hits me in my ear hole and launches me over there. So when I say, and literally saw blue dots, saw stars. Coach Jones stood over me when I came to, pointed in my face and said, never stand up in the hole. There's always somebody else coming to get you. You will always get hit in this position. The only question is from where? That, my friends, is a nose guard. It's not like any other position out there. Your whole job is hold the line. Keep the guards from getting to the linebacker. Keep the middle of the field. Make them run around you so that the defensive ends get the glory, or the linebackers. You, my friend, are in a thankless job. And now we got a guy. That's his job. And so this defense, they're blowing up. They're blowing up the old defense. And we're starting over from scratch. And I could not be happier. Sorry that this video has kind of gone on a little bit long. When you're old and you've had too much brain trauma, you kind of get these stories in your head and you just have to get them out. But you know the deal. Our coach here, and as always, I want to thank you all for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Joe Sports